Long ago, in a small village nestled between rolling hills and dense forests, there lived a poor family, a mother, a father, and their only son, Kofi. Kofi's parents were hard-working, but no matter how much they toiled, poverty clung to them like a shadow. They lived in a tiny mud hut, ate meager meals, and wore tattered clothes. Yet, despite their struggles, Kofi's parents taught him the value of kindness. "Son," his father would say, "the world may deny you riches, but never let it harden your heart. A kind deed, no matter how small, is never wasted." Kofi took these words to heart. Even when he had little, he shared. If he found a hungry stray dog, he would give it his last piece of bread. If an elderly neighbor struggled to fetch water, he would carry their pot without complaint. The villagers admired his goodness, though some mocked him. "Foolish boy," the village drunkard once sneered. "What good will kindness do when your belly is empty?" But Kofi only smiled and continued helping where he could. One evening, as Kofi returned from gathering firewood, he met an old man sitting by the roadside. The man's clothes were dusty, his face weary, and his lips parched. "Good evening, grandfather," Kofi greeted. "Are you well?" The old man coughed weakly. "I have traveled far, young one, and I have neither food nor shelter for the night." Without hesitation, Kofi said, "Come to our home." That night, Kofi gave him his own portion of food and spread a mat for him to sleep. The next morning, before leaving, the old man placed a small, rusty key in Kofi's hand. "Keep this safe," he whispered. "In 25 years, return to this very spot, and you will find your reward." Kofi was puzzled, but thanked the man. As the years passed, he grew into a hard-working young man. But misfortune struck. His parents fell ill and passed away, leaving him alone. Still, he never stopped helping others, even when life grew harder. With no family left, Kofi left the village in search of work. He traveled to a bustling town, where he labored as a servant. In a wealthy merchant's house, the merchant was cruel, paying him barely enough to survive. Yet, Kofi remained honest and kind, often sharing his meager wages with beggars outside the market. One cold night, he found a shivering orphan boy hiding in an alley. Without thinking, he gave the child his own cloak and the last of his coins. The boy wept in gratitude. "You are too good for this world," the child said. Kofi only smiled. Kindness costs nothing but means everything. 25 years later, Kofi, now a grey-haired man, remembered the old man's words. With nothing to lose, he returned to his village. To his surprise, the once familiar spot now held a massive, ancient tree that hadn't been there before. Beneath its roots, he found a small iron door. Hands trembling, he inserted the rusty key. The door creaked open, revealing a chest overflowing with gold, jewels, and a note. "To the one who remained kind in poverty, may your goodness be rewarded 1,000-fold. This treasure belongs not to a greedy man, but to a generous heart." Kofi fell to his knees in tears. He took only what he needed, then built a school for the village children, a shelter for the poor, and a well for clean water. The villagers who once mocked him now praised his name. And so, the poor boy, who sowed kindness in his youth, reaped a harvest of blessings when he least expected it. Kindness, though often repaid in silence, never fails to bloom when the time is right.